Hello, welcome to Board Games with Niramas. I'm Joseph and I'm here today with Draco, of course. As usual, we're going to take a look at top 10 expansions going to be released at Essen Spiel that we are excited for. And I have my computer here just because there's so much information I couldn't really memorize it all. I'm going to put the link down here as well to the Board Game Geek. That's what I'm looking at, the Board Game Geek preview for Essen Spiel, where you can see all the 1,000 titles or something like that is going to be released. You can search, of course, for the ones that you're interested in. So let's talk a bit about expansions. Now, generally, expansions, I almost get more excited for an expansion for a game that I already like than I get for a new game, even if it looks cool. And I might not know if I'm going to like it or not. But an expansion for a game that I already love, I mean, that's just awesome. So yeah, there's some really interesting ones here. I'm really excited for this list. So let's get started with number 10. Okay, so number 10 expansion that I am excited for is, and don't get me wrong here, it's Gloomhaven Forgotten Circles, but it's not, I mean, it's not number 10. If it was for sale, it would have been number 1, I think. But now it's not for sale, it's just a demo. They're going to demo it down there. I'm going to make sure that I get in there and get to see some of it. Although, at the same time, it's a bit tricky, I think. I don't know how they will demo this, because this takes place after the main campaign, and I haven't finished that one yet. But there's like 20 new scenarios, a new character class. Come on, it's an expansion for Gloomhaven. I mean, of course I'm excited. But it's going to be at Cellofair Games in location 4F116. So I'll be there for sure to check out the demo and see some stuff around it. I mean, cool. Anyhow, that's my number 10, sort of, because yeah, I didn't want to leave it out, but the other 9 you can actually buy. But I didn't want to leave this one out. So here comes number 9. Okay, so my number 9 expansion is for a game that I like, but at the same time I'm a bit scared of. It's called, it's for Kitchen Rush, and it's called Piece of Cake. And Kitchen Rush, I can only play that one if I'm in the mood, because that's so hectic. It's a real-time game where you're trying to handle a restaurant. Well, not just the kitchen, but mostly the kitchen of a restaurant. You need to get the stuff to make the food, and you need the pans and the pots, and you need to make sure you're washing you're doing the dishes, so you have plates that you can serve the food on. You take these orders. So hectic and so much fun. And now we're also going to get with the Piece of Cake. You're going to get like desserts, like servings of pastry and cakes and all that stuff, and so even more panic, I guess, when you have to handle that as well. You're going to probably get like a normal order with like meat and potatoes or whatever, and then you're also going to have like, yeah, they want this for dessert, and then you have to manage that, and you have to make sure that that you have the right ingredients as well, because otherwise someone has to sort of go out and buy them. It's so chaotic, this game, but it looks cool. I think this is going to be fun. So that's Piece of Cake for Kitchen Rush. And my number 8 is for This War of Mine. It's called Tales from a Ruined City. The only reason that it's down at 8, it should have been higher, but the thing is, from what I understand, from what I've been looking up, this is basically, you get a lot of stuff for This War of Mine that you already have if you got the Kickstarter sort of all-in, the deluxe, whatever it was called, version, which Martin did, and I bought it from him. So I already have a lot of extra stuff for This War of Mine. Might be some new things in there, but from what I understand, there's a lot of like repeating stuff for those that missed the Kickstarter. So this is like the retail. Yeah, that sounds a bit boring in my opinion, because you want new stuff, but I'm still going to check it out. Not sure if I'm going to buy it or not. Well, we'll see. Maybe I can get a review copy or so that I can check it out. I'm gonna have to talk to Galacta about that, but yeah, it's interesting at least. I mean, I don't want to be like, I mean, that's just speaking for me. For everyone who got the retail copy, I'm really happy for you guys that you get to be able to play these expansion modules and all that. There's a bunch of different modules that you can add to the base game, which are awesome. So yeah, I mean, in that way, I'm happy that it's released. I just was just hoping that it would be something new for everyone, basically. But that's This War of Mine expansion. Check that one out. And let's head to, what is it, number 7. So number 7 is an expansion for the networks. It's called Executives. And this one, I think, is the same that was on Kickstarter. So I think my friend Andreas is going to get this one from Kickstarter before Essen. I'm not really sure. Or perhaps it's not the same. I have to ask him about that. But an expansion for the networks, that's something I can recommend. And that's what this list is for, to recommend stuff, right? Not just to fit my needs. So I really like the networks, the base game. I thought it was really fun, really cool stuff where you're trying to run like a TV station on your own, put out these shows and have commercials and stars that you acquire that will boost your shows to get more views. Really fun stuff, and this one is going to add more to the game, basically, and I just like that. So this is from Forma Ferret Games. They are going to be in 2E102. So check them out if you're interested. It's 25 euros for the expansion, the Network's Executives. And let's head to number 6. So my number 6 expansion that I'm excited for comes from Aporta Games, and it's for Santa Maria. It's called American Kingdoms. I really like Santa Maria, the base game. You can check it out if you haven't. There, I guess, my run-through of Santa Maria, the base game. And this expansion looks interesting as well. It's going to add a few modules, so you can add stuff like cacao, and it says the governor. I don't know what that is. The specialists. Yeah, adds modules. I like modules in expansions as well. And you can pick this up for 30 euros at location 5D126. I guess that's one of the smaller halls. 5, yeah. From Aporta Games, and more stuff for Santa Maria. Why not? That sounds fun. So that is my number 6. Let's head to number 5. So my number 5 is for I think it was number 5. The game itself was number 5 on my top 50 last year. Great Western Trail gets an expansion with Rails to the North. A while ago I talked to some friends and we were sort of agreeing on, like, does it really need an expansion when this was announced? I played a few more times now and I think, yeah, why not? I want to get something fresh into the game. So yeah, Rails to the North, I think it's going to, as it sounds, I think it's going to focus more on the railways and all that. I haven't read that much about it, to be honest, but many times when there's an expansion coming for a game that I already like, I'm the kind of person that doesn't want to know everything. I want to be a bit surprised when I do the unboxing and open up the stuff and, oh wow, find all that cool stuff. Doesn't really work since I'm doing this whole YouTube thing, so I sort of have to read up on some things and give people tips and so on, but I haven't read that much about this. But it's an expansion of Great Western Trail, 25 euros, go to Essen Spiel, doesn't say where they are though, but they released the English one. I think it's like language independent, so you can pick it up from Pegasus Spiel for German version as well. So that is Great Western Trail, Rails to the North. That is my number 5. So my number 4 is for Feast for Odin, a Rosenberg game, really cool one. It's one that it's not my favorite from him, but I like it, and I just don't really like the whole, the puzzle thing, the patchwork puzzle in that game, but I like most of the stuff. I like the worker placement in the game. There's so many spots to go to. It's crazy, actually. But this called the Norwegians. Once again, we're getting some stuff from Uwe that is revolving around Norwegians and Iceland and Nordic stuff, which is always fun. So this is the German version, from what I can see, that is going to be released at Essen Spiel. I'm not sure if it's going to be an English version at that time, or I'm not sure if it's language independent though. I mean, I don't think there's anything. There's no text, right? I mean, on the small card, there's no text. It's just symbols, so you can figure that out. 30 euros, Feuerland Spiel in location 4C116. And it's an expansion for Feast for Odin. That's one of those that I read what it says here, but so it's going to be like more stuff basically, and some new ideas, like everybody gets a random start building. That's interesting. So, I mean, the thing with this game is this is one of those games where I get some AP, where I just sit and just like, I don't know what to do. There's so many options that I can't decide. So I don't know, maybe an expansion with more stuff is not what I need, I don't know. But it looks cool, and that's A Feast for Odin, the Norwegians. That is my number 4. So let's head to number 3. And my number 3 is for a game that I really like. It's called Clank, and this is Clank Gold and Silk. And I don't know what to say. I mean, it's more of the same basically. There's new stuff in there, but more stuff for Clank. Yeah, that's fun, you know. I have all the expansions so far. I like to switch the boards up and play. I mean, I like that there's these cards that combo with the different boards. I like the Mummy, the last expansion. And another one, why not? Bring it on, Gold and Silk. So I'm looking forward to that, and that is my number 3 for Clank. So my number 2 expansion I'm excited for is going to be for Caverna, and finally an expansion for Caverna, guys. Now there's also, I should mention also, there is an expansion coming for Caverna Cave vs Cave, which is called Era 2, the Iron Age. It didn't make my top 10 list here, but I'm going to pick that up. I think I had mixed feelings about Cave vs Cave. I thought it was cool at first, but then I thought, let's just play normal Caverna 2-player style instead. That's awesome. So Caverna, anyhow, the Forgotten Folk it's called. And this is so cool. It's from Lookout Games. It's going to be at 1F135 for, doesn't say how much it costs. And so it doesn't. I read about this earlier as well. Like this one is the one that I'm really excited to read about actually. And what you're going to have is you're going to have different races, different factions. So they have different specialities and so on. So you start with one, and you can that affects. I mean, like in many variable player powers, and you start with different asymmetrical start. That's what it's called. And that is just so cool. I love that in most games, and I think for Caverna that's going to be interesting, because I could sometimes feel like Caverna, in comparison to Agricola, Caverna was a little bit the same all the time, because everybody starts the same, the same buildings out, it's the same actions. In Agricola at least you got the different occupations, different improvements, so you always get a variation. You could have a lot of different decks for Agricola, which really mixed it up. So I think this will be awesome for Caverna. This will really lift it for me, and I think I will be wanting to play it a lot more, having a expansion that varies the powers. I guess you want to play all of these. I think there was like 8 different races that you can play. So that's awesome. So that's my number 2, Caverna, the Forgotten Folk. And my number 1 expansion, no surprise to anyone, I guess. It's for Terraforming Mars. It's called Colonies. And Colonies expansion, for me it just feels like we just had Prelude. So getting another expansion this soon is just so exciting. I can't wait for this one. This is going to be so cool. This is actually, I mean, Prelude did some really well made stuff for the game that the Terraforming Mars really needed to speed up at the start, get into the game and so on, especially when you play like 4 players. That was really cool, and it was good for the solo as well, and new solo variant and all that. And you can pick a Prelude as well on Essen Spiel if you haven't got it already. But let's talk about Colonies. Colonies, I played this a year ago as a prototype together with one of the Frixilius brothers and some friends. And what it does is you have these colonies, I think it's on the moons, like outside of the board, where you can go and you can either set up a colony, which costs a certain amount of money and resources, I guess. And then if you have done that, then when other people visit it to trade, because if you go there you can colonize or you can trade. I think if you do the trade action, then you get something from, depending on which type of colony it is, you get some kind of resource. But if someone else, if another player already has put a colony there, they will also get something out of that. So it's a new way of interacting between the players, which was really fun and really interesting. And it's also like an optional way to get stuff, to get resources. I mean, you have the production, of course, and you have the place a tile and get whatever is under it. But here is like a third sort of main way to, like I say, I need a few plants. I need to get the greenery out. Well, I can visit a colony and get some plants. So that's a new way to get resources and interact with each other in Terraforming Mars. So wow, getting the colonies, the release is going to be so cool. And also there's going to of course be 5 new corporations, so 5 new solo playthroughs coming as well during like November, December, or January maybe. I don't know how much I will have on my list to film after Essen yet. I don't know how crazy it will be, but it's probably going to be quite crazy. I mean, I guess I can get my hands on some review copies and so on, but also, I mean, we're going to be 4 guys going there, and I guess we will sort of try to time it out so that we don't buy the same game, everyone. It's just going to split it up because we're in the same gaming group, which means I can probably borrow some games from the guys when we get home and make videos of them as well. So it's going to be a bunch of games and expansions, and yeah, solo playthroughs and all that. So it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to really doing a lot of camera work this fall and winter. I'm having so much fun. It's 2 years now and I'm enjoying it a lot, and I hope you do as well. I mean, I'm doing it not for myself, you know, and for Draco. I'm doing it for you guys so you can watch the videos. Tell me in the comment section, what is your what do you think about these expansions? Do you have any expansions for games being released at Essen Spiel that you are excited for? Tell us in the comment section and we can have a chat about it. And also tell me if you're going to Essen Spiel. Let's try to meet up. If you see me or Draco in the crowd, just come up and say hi. That's just fun, so we can meet each other. It's probably going to be a lot of people, so we'll see how that works out. But we could try that at least. Draco is fairly easy to recognize, I would say. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening or morning whenever you're watching this. Take care. Bye bye. Be like Draco. Follow Board Games with Niramas on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You can find us at BGW Niramas.
Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.